we can do that. All right. My name is Bob Thomas. I'm the Executive Vice President for Resourcing Edge. I manage our channel partner and broker partner programs. This is our third webinar in a series of 12. This one is entitled HR for Nerds. What we hope to show you today is the technology and the ins and outs of that technology that really bolsters the hands-on service that we provide at Resourcing Edge and Adaptive HR. When you see the ease of the solution, the singularity of this solution, I think you're going to find that we can be a real tool for your clients and those that are trying to manage the life cycle of their employees. It really bolsters what we do. As you recall, we had 2 webinars already. In January, we told you about the broker program for Resourcing Edge. In February, we told you about Adaptive HR, which is a professional employer organization for the cannabis industry. In April, we're going to tell, the webinar is entitled, I Sell Other Stuff, What Do I Do with This? And that's really designed to help you see how you can position us with your other offerings. We know you're an agent. We know you're a lawyer, a CPA, a financial planner. We know you have another job to do. So that webinar is going to focus on how do you position it? How do you position what we do and bring it to the table? So another good tool. Remember, for our top producers out there, we're going to have VIP events for our very important partners. And those are going to be next week. We're hosting a cooking class for them. And we're going to have happy hours virtually. We're going to have celebrities, athletes, and we've got a very special one planned with the CEO of Assurity, Tom Henning. So bring us lots of leads, bring us lots of business, and we'll include you in that invite. Remember, Resourcing Edge is your HR payroll benefit technology solution. We help you manage and help your clients manage the life cycle of their employees, from recruiting to onboarding to paying them, to managing the benefits, the risk, and helping them become more efficient and better focused at doing what their passion. You know, we go into business to do something we're passionate about. We don't go into business to manage all the other stuff, the HR, the payroll, the benefit. Those are the things that get us away from our passion. So let us help you focus on your passion and build that company to build something for your family. So I'm going to turn the screen over to Jama Duchenne. Jama is an amazing person, extremely talented, who helps us with our technology. If you have a client that has an interest in our technology, she's going to manage the demos. Feel free to go back and refer to this demo at any time. We're going to post it to our Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube pages. So we're very fortunate to have had Jama as long as we have. She's a proud member of our team. And so without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Jama. So
thanks, Bob.
Go for it, Jama.
All right. And it says I can't share my screen until you stop sharing.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. So yeah, thanks, Bob, so much for the introduction. My name is Jama. I'm on the systems team, and I'm the lead corporate trainer for Resourcing Edge. And today I'm going to walk you through the entire employee life cycle within our system to show you how everything is fully integrated. And we're going to start with recruiting, our applicant tracking system, and then I'll move into the onboarding experience and show you what the new employees would see inside of the portal and how they would fill out their electronic new hire paperwork. Then we'll move into benefits enrollment and show you how easy that process is, as well as show you the time and attendance solutions that we offer. Then we'll move into payroll processing and reports, as well as performance management and how to do simple changes in the system in case somebody, submits their notice or retires or terminates. So with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and pull open my screen here. This is RE360. This is our HRIS and payroll database. And I'm going to take you on a tour of the dashboard before we start and initiate that employee lifecycle. So first on this dashboard, you're going to notice a couple different quadrants or tiles of information. We also have menus up here and a smart search bar. So the top left tile is a customizable favorites list, and this can be customized per user. It's just going to allow you to save any screen inside of the software as a favorite so that you can quickly and easily navigate to that screen, making your navigation that much more efficient. Then the top right tile is your My Support team. You're going to be assigned the client would be assigned a dedicated client account manager, a single point of contact, and they'll be able to help guide the client into any kind of questions or providing solutions that are pertaining to HR, payroll, workers' comp, benefits, etc. Then the bottom left tile is a list of your recent payroll reports, so we can quickly grab those if we need to. So for instance, we could just pull open this gross to net report here, and then you can easily email or download this and distribute that accordingly. The bottom right tile is a list of the employee contact information at a glance. But then if we select the employee's name, it's going to open up for the employee's electronic file or record. And the employees are going to be empowered and motivated to update and review their information inside of the portal. But this is where your admins or your managers can view and make updates as well. So you're going to notice there are different tabs of information that we can view and update the data here on this particular employee. You have the ability to upload a photo. We've got our name and contact information, employment information. On the personal screen, we're going to have like gender, date of birth, marital status, e-verification information if we're tracking that, emergency contact data. On the address screen, we'll have our residential mailing and Form W-2 addresses. On the work screen, we have different status dates that you can pull reports on, as well as different assignments for your GL structure. So any kind of locations, divisions, departments, project codes, you can do job costing, and we can create any kind of codes for you so that you can allocate your time accordingly. The pay screen is going to hold your different compensation data. So you can have different pay groups, and they can be semi-weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, weekly, quarterly, any kind of pay group that you need, we can build that into the system for you. You have your quick stats on performance review information. And then on the tax screen, we're going to have our federal, state, and local tax filing information. Got our direct deposit data. Skills and education. This is a really nice area because if you have a certification or a license that you need to track, you can easily add that here. You can also put a renewal date, and we can have a report be sent to you automatically to remind you when somebody needs to renew their certification. Same with property. This is also a nice one, especially in the times of COVID that we're living in with everyone working from home. So if you lend out like a laptop or a desk or whatever, and you want to track that, you can easily put that line in here. You can mark the date returned if they put in their 2-week notice. We can easily just find that information just by going to the smart search bar and typing in property, and then we'll pull open that related property report. You can filter on a location or a department. And then when you run it, the report is going to show quickly, and you can view if somebody has in fact returned that piece of property. And all of our reports are easily exportable into a PDF or Excel option. So if we go back into the employee record here, we also have another tab called Other, and this is going to be miscellaneous field information where you can track when a handbook was mailed or received, background tests, different things like that. And each screen within the system is going to come with a help icon. So this will open up in a separate window so you can easily navigate back into RE360. But this is just going to talk to you about the screen that you are on and tell you about each field and what you can do with it. You also have these action bars here, and this is going to allow you to perform different actions within the system. So here you can do an audit to review when something was changed by which user. You can pull a benefits overview to see what the employee is eligible for, what their coverage levels are, coverage start and end dates. We can also keep everything electronically in our documents area. And this is where we can upload documents and allow the employee to see those documents inside of employee self-service or the employee portal. All right, so we also, in addition to the dashboard, we have these menus up at the top of the screen. This is going to allow us to make different changes and actions as they pertain to different areas of the system. So under the My Company menu, you'll be able to review and create payroll notes, manage your documents, do approval pendings in terms of like your company information. Your employees, you can do different changes like add dependents, do adjustments on your employee's PTO register, create an FMLA event, different things like that, as well as your My Payrolls menu. This is where you can add or change a garnishment or approve your payroll. The reports icon, we actually have a couple different areas of reports. So this report icon is going to give you some pre-designed reports in different categories. This is going to save you a lot of time and effort. So if you wanted to like create like a birthday or a census report, you can easily just click the run button and then you'll have that information already designed for you. You can also search for a particular person if you need to find quickly their information and navigate to each different page with the arrows at the top. Again, you can export the reports into PDF or Excel. We also have a report center, which is really, really nice. So this was recently rolled out and we've gotten nothing but great feedback on it. The report center is going to open up into a new window. So you can, again, easily navigate back into RE360. But the report center is very similar to what I just showed you in the reports dropdown with the paper icon. These are all going to be pre-designed reports, but you're going to have more flexibility and customization with these reports. So if you have multiple EINs that you manage, you can also add those together and combine them in your report data, which is another great feature. So here we have different categories. I just created these on my own. We can pull different reports and then customize which category they go into so you can quickly find what you're needing to look for. We have different types of reports, so you can view a graph or a chart if you need to present your data in a meeting. You can also have, your typical Excel spreadsheet. So here, this is a really nice interchangeable report. So we can change it into a bar, into a line or a spline. If we go back into our column, you can easily just click on the columns and then drill down the data. I'm actually going to change this to a different interval. So we can change it to maybe quarter and then select the bar. We're going to view our data. And then this is really nice because you can easily move your columns around and then download into 3 different formats. And then the other reports are really easy to navigate as well. If we just want to type in what we're looking for, we can find a report here and then open it up. This is going to be your standard report. It's going to look very similar to an Excel spreadsheet where you can group and aggregate and do different pivot views, as well as filter on anything. And you can add or customize your columns or your fields of information. You can clear everything out and start from scratch, or you can select everything and then filter on what you need. So again, this is really customizable and a great flexible tool if you're needing a really good report feature. Okay, so I'm going to go back into RE360 again, and we're going to start that employee lifecycle and kick that off. So I'm going to just do that with my smart search bar. And this is going to help you navigate and find whatever you need very quickly. So if I need to find an employee, I can just start typing their first name and I could open up their record this way. I could also just look for a process, and it's going to give me the process application suggestion as well as the report suggestion. So this is just a really nice feature because it searches the entire database. So I'm going to look for my ATS, which is fully integrated, which means it's single sign-on. You only use one username and password for the entire system. And our ATS, or applicant tracking system, is powered by Jazz HR. So if you're familiar with this software, you know that you can customize it and build it to whatever you need it to be. It is a very strong and enhanced applicant tracking software. So I'm just going to go over this really quickly at a high level. The dashboard is going to show you the open job postings that you have with some quick stats. You'll have your interview information and some latest activity of what's been going on within the software. Under the job menu, we also have just all of the different job postings that we've created, again, with some quick stats. But if we go into the job posting, you're going to notice that you have a lot of different options that you can customize. So the tabs are very similar. And when I was showing you in the employee electronic file in RE360, it's just the tabs that you can navigate to. And so in the post tab, you have the ability to customize your own posting. You can choose from pre-designed templates, or you can just make your own. You can also design your own application, and all of this is going to be linked with your own career page if you already have one on your own website, your company website. You also have the ability to make your own workflow. So if you want somebody on your team, if you have a recruiting team, you can make different team members and assign them to a workflow so that you can have someone do just the screening or just the interviewing, which is a really, really nice feature. Then you can also quickly blast referrals or request referrals on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. And then advertising is very simple and easy because there are pre-designed job boards already in the system at like Indeed, Career Builder, Monster, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, they're all in here. If they're not in here, then we can easily request to add them in here. All right, so let's move over into our candidates menu. This is everyone who's been applying to our job postings. So we are going to hire our employee Rick here into our demo database. And when we open up Rick's file here, we're going to see his contact information, the resume he uploaded, his job application, and different interview information or assessment data that we've taken on him. The software also has the ability where you can just text the candidate, and going back and forth, the text data is going to stay within the software, which is really great. So I want to pull his data into our onboarding process. I'm just going to select export candidate. I'm going to choose where I want them to go and on what day. I'll click export. And then I've got a confirmation bubble down here at the bottom left corner of my screen. That just means they are now ready and available to import into my onboarding process whenever I'm ready to kick that off, which I've got that saved on my favorites. So I'm just going to click on new hire. And then I have to fill out this screen to kick off the onboarding process. So to save some time, we are going to import our candidate data that we just exported from our ATS. Their data is going to come over into the personal information and residential address tiles. This is going to save us a lot of time and effort from doing manual entry. Then we'll just select the work location that they're going to be working at. I'm just going to type in a fake social security number. And then you can hire either an employee that's a W-2 employee or a contractor. The process is going to be exactly the same, either hire type. We're going to scroll down, and then you can customize which of these fields are required to start the onboarding process. This is just your basic information, what position are they starting, what's their employment type, benefit group, etc. Then just fill out what they're going to be making for their pay. You'll click save, and you'll get a confirmation line right here stating that the onboarding workflow has in fact kicked off. So I'm just going to show you a quick screenshot. Your employees, the new hires, are going to get an email that's going to say, welcome to the company. They're going to get 2 links, one with a training video on how to register, another to the actual portal. And this is the login screen for the portal. I'm already logged in, and this is just going to basically say, like, this person in my demo, he's already started onboarding. And so maybe he went to go grab a cup of coffee or lunch and he is now coming back to finish his paperwork. This is a nice welcome back screen. It's going to tell him what he's already completed, what's in progress, and what is still left to be completed. And this software is really nice in regards to the interface. It's very clean. We've got our basic information that the employee would fill out, which is just their name and their address, social security number. They'll declare their citizenship status. And then once they do that, all of that data will populate into the standard government form I-9, which is going to save a lot of time in regards to data entry errors. Because sometimes people just don't, maybe they might miss a box or fill the information out in the wrong box. This process is going to eliminate any kind of data entry errors. So once the employee clicks the continue button, then the hiring manager is going to get an email notification letting them know that the I-9 section 2 is in fact sitting with them and they can complete the documents. So the hiring manager is going to see the I-9. They can send it back if they need to make any corrections. We'll hit next. And then once the employee brings their new hire documentation, they can fill out the rest of the documents such as list A or list B and C. Back in onboarding, we also have some other screens here just to kind of give you a glance at what this looks like. This is customizable. So whatever agreements or handbooks that need to be acknowledged or signed off on or completed, we can load those in here. All right, so I am going to log in as a different version of this employee. Let me open up a new tab here. And you can see what that is going to look like once they're fully hired and done with their onboarding paperwork. And the website, once the employee is logged in and they are officially an employee, they can translate the entire site to Spanish with a click of a button. And I apologize, it is kind of a little bit delayed right now. Here we go. So I'm going to select my new hire. We can translate this into Spanish if we need to. We're going to just log in and I will show you what the portal dashboard looks like. And inside of the portal, this is where your employees are going to be able to view their information and make updates to certain areas within the system.
While we're waiting, Jama, one question that we did get from a broker was if a client authorizes them, can an outside broker that's not an employee get access, some kind of management access, or get some of the reports emailed to them?
Yes, definitely. So we can set up, what we would do is we would set up a worksite manager and they can be outside of the entire system where we would set up individual security access. Users are set up with their own level of security. So whatever you want them or don't want them to see, we can restrict that access if needed.
Great, thank you.
Yep, good question. All right, and I hope I'm not going too fast. Just let me know if I need to slow down. All right, so we have our dashboard here. This is what your hired employees are going to see. And then we have a menu on the left-hand side, very clean interface again, kind of similar to the onboarding experience. So the new hires are already going to feel comfortable with the layout. You can post anything that you want here on this dashboard. We already have some pre-designed training links that are just going to open up in a new window and take them to a YouTube training. You can also post like your holiday schedule, anything that you really want to communicate to your employees, we can post that here for you. And we also have, so if we open up the categories on the left-hand side menu, the employees are going to be able to see their pay rate, job data related to their employment summary, their personal information. So if they get married, they can make changes to their marital status, contact information if they need to update their email or phone. Address is really easy. I recently moved, and if you just change one address, it'll just say, do you want to copy over to your mailing and to your W-2? Super easy and fast. emergency contacts, you can add unlimited amount of contacts. That's why there's a search bar here. And then we have other areas where you can add different information. If we expand our benefits category, we'll see a summary. So if benefits are offered to the employee and they enroll in those benefits, they're going to see all the different benefit plan names, their effective date, coverage start, and end dates. FSA can also be loaded, so any kind of account activity imbalances. And as years go on, they can also check years prior as long as the data is loaded. All right, so benefits enrollment, I'm going to show you that portion right now. This is going to open up into a new screen, and it's going to be very similar to the onboarding experience. So your employees will be given this phone number here. They can contact this phone number, and this is our benefits support team. And the benefits support team can actually do all of the enrollment for the employee if they need to. But it's a really easy process and very easy to navigate. So I'll just kind of show you, you can easily add a dependent by clicking add dependent, fill out the required fields, hit save. Once you've got your dependents in here, we'll load in any type of benefits that you want to offer. And we've got our health category. So this is going to be an active running total that acts in real time. So I'm gonna actually, I agree to waive. I'm gonna uncheck that. So I am going to be adding, the employee is gonna be adding this for himself. We can add our dependents. And then when we click on the plan, you'll notice that the running total just updated in real time, or we can change it. You can also view the summary of benefits. It's going to open up in a new window. So if they need to email this or print it out, they have all the details to the plan. You can also view the copay, deductibles, and also compare. If you're a visual person like me, you can just click the compare button and you'll see the rates in a clean side-by-side screen. So benefits are pretty easy to navigate and make your selections. Any questions, Bob, from the list of everyone before I move on?
One question that came in that maybe you can address is the security and the integrity of the data is with some of the recent security breaches that are out there in the world and the systems. Is the system pretty reliable? Is it backed up? Is it cloud? It's all cloud based. So
yes, it is. It's all
and
cloud based.
there's
Well,
redundancy sites that so clients should never see a problem accessing it.
correct. Yeah. So I'm actually, let me go ahead and I'm logged in as myself. I would just want to show you real quick. So under users, we have a so MFA, multi-factor authentication. And this is going to allow the person to essentially, so my screen is glitching out real quick. Let me click on that. So the multi-factor authentication, this is going to allow you to, it's going to require that if you are logging into a new device or into a cell phone or wherever that you're not normally used to, it's going to make you enter in a different code that you get from another device that you set up originally when you first got your user credentials. So that is definitely a huge security factor that helps keep everything safe, secure. I know that they've really beefed up a lot of security within the last few weeks with everything that recently happened. I would probably just have to get back to you on more details as to pertaining to what they're actually doing and what they have done.
No, that's good. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. All right, I am going to log back in as my demo supervisor so that we don't get any glitches. Okay, so back, actually, yeah, so we finished our benefits enrollment portion of the employee life cycle. I'm going to go back into the portal as the employee. I'm hoping it doesn't glitch out on me since I've logged in as 3 different people recently. But then back in the portal, I'll show you the time and attendance software, as well as a couple other features before we get this employee paid. And inside the portal, we also offer a RE360 Learn, as well as come tax time, we will process your W-2s and your 1095Cs so that those are easily accessible and the employee can just download those with a click of a button. It's very slow today. Lots of processing, I guess.
No worries.
Here we go. Okay, so back inside, we can also view our pay stubs at our direct deposit. And that's very, in terms of like how everything is laid out, you can do a test calculator if you want to see how much is going to go into a specific account, if you want to break that out. And it's got a really easy image so that your employees can figure out where they need to put certain pieces of information. So you can also do pay time off within the portal. You can estimate your future PTO with what's going to be adjusted and accrued over time. And I'll actually show you the time off feature in Timeco. We also offer swipe clock. The reason why we offer two is we have a more advanced scheduling feature within swipe clock, but Timeco just got a facelift, so I'll show you that as well. It's really great. Documents area, this is where the employee or the client can load information. The client can upload documents for the entire company with a click of a button. So if there's like a new policy or a new handbook, that would be found under the company documents folder. The employee can also view their documents here and upload their own documents if they need to. And so come tax time, we have a training video, also a tax withholding. This is basically your W-4 that if they click on update forms, it's just going to allow the employee to walk screen by screen through kind of like a wizard, essentially, with allowing them and helping them to update their withholding. And then W-2s and 1095Cs will be uploaded here by Resourcing Edge for the employee to download at any time. So before we get into the time and attendance, I'm actually going to give you a peek into the RE360 Learn. And this is where employees can do any kind of ad hoc learning courses if they want to just enhance their skills in a particular area, or the onboarding manager or HR manager can assign tracks to employees so that once they're hired or maybe they transition into a new position, then they would have a specific set of courses that they have to complete. And you'll see here that we've got harassment, pandemic response, human resources, lots of different standard legal and compliance courses. So if I were to click on a category here, it's just going to show all of the courses that are within the catalog. And then the employee can click on the course, start the course, and then it's just going to open up into a video, which is powered by Skillsoft and Think HR. And it's basically your standard LMS, but it's enhanced with quizzes and different tables and lessons and different things like that. So really, really easy to access and navigate and add or open up a course so that you can learn more about it. So table of contents is just going to load. It might be kind of loud. I'll pause it real quick. Here we go.
Moving on.
All right. So you get the idea in regards to our LMS. Okay, so if we go into Timeco, again, this is single sign-on. So the employee, there is no app that they have to download. This is essentially, it can be accessed from any type of device. And this is mobile optimized, which means any device that you access it on, it's going to adjust and look easier to navigate based upon where you're accessing it from. So if you're on a cell phone, it will adjust to your cell phone so it's easier to punch in for the day. And this dashboard here is what I was talking about in regards to a huge facelift. The employee can essentially see their current hours that they've worked this pay period, what they worked last pay period, and what they worked yesterday. They'll see their current balance for their paid time off. They can quickly punch in for the day. And you can also allocate your job costing to different jobs or departments, as well as divisions or projects. We can customize that for the client so that they can, in regards to taxes or just general documentation, we can break all of the job costing out. And the employee can clock in to one job in the morning and then a different job in the afternoon. And then if somebody drops their shift, their name would appear here. And then there will be an icon that the employee could pick up that shift if that's available to them. They'll also be able to review their schedule for the week and drop it if they need to. And then to request time off, they can just select My Leave Request from their profile icon. They'll be able to see a historical transaction list of what has been accrued, adjusted, and used over time, as well as future requests with the future balance. And then they'll be able to see what has been approved or submitted. They can also use the calendar version. If they're more of a visual person, they'll see a color key at the bottom and see what has been approved. And then we're just going to do a new request by clicking on new request. We can select the calendar. We'll do a couple days here. We can put in maybe 1 hour for a dental appointment or a full day, and then we'll hit submit. You can also block it so that it doesn't go into the negative. We just opened that up in our demo just because we do it so many times. So I'll submit that. That's going to send an email to our supervisor, and then the employee will get an email back once it's been approved or declined. They can also view their schedule in 2 different ways, weekly or monthly. And then we can view our time card in more detail and see where everything is being allocated or if we have any missed punches. So if we go back into RE360, I'm actually going to log in as the supervisor into the portal, and then I will show you how we get those hours over for payroll. And inside the supervisor portal, there are going to be, it's going to look very similar to the employee portal, but there will be more training videos as well as COVID information, different things that pertain to HR and payroll and legal compliance. And those are pretty much updated, I would say quarterly. It just depends on what is the latest and greatest update in regards to required HR and payroll law.
One question that came in on the training videos, if
Mhm.
they have links to other sites that are outside of that, can that be added to that page? Or really, on a broader question, could any link be added to this dashboard that is something specialized to their company?
Yes, we can definitely add any link here to this dashboard. And then if you have your own custom training content, if you have like a SCORM software, we can load that into RE360 Learn. Yep, lots of customization. All right, so as a supervisor, I'm going to go into Timeco and I'm going to see a different dashboard and lots of other menus that I have access to. So here we can add other dashboard tiles. These are basically like mini reports. So you can easily see like maybe who's clocked in for the day, who's approaching overtime or has overtime. It's just a nice way to quickly see quick information at a glance. And then if we go into our time cards, we can view everyone's time cards, see easily missed punches to go in and fix those punches. It's literally just double clicking on the field and then making that adjustment wherever there's a missed punch. You can also search for an employee this way. It's got a smart search, so you can start typing in first name or last name and find someone, or just navigate to the next employee in line. We can also then just view their benefits or pay time off balance, any kind of exceptions or missed punches. You can set up a point system as well as a schedule. And then the map, this geofencing is included in RA360 Time. So you'll be able to see essentially where people are clocking in at. So if you want to set up different locations, you can restrict punches outside of those locations as well if you need to. Otherwise, you'll just set up all your addresses. You can name them whatever name that you need for those locations. And then if you reject the punches outside of the location, you'll have to specify which employees should be able to clock into which location. And you don't even have to specify, you could just say everybody can clock into any of these locations. So it's a really nice feature in terms of making sure that people are where they need to be when they're clocking in. We can also just limit it to an IP address. It can be, people can clock in on their phones, a tablet, PC, wherever you want them to clock in at. There's also options for fingerprint identification as well as a card that you can swipe. But in terms of getting our hours over, I'm just going to select our setup general option here and preview our payroll hours. You have the ability to do a custom date range if you just want to do a custom upload, or it's just going to default to your previous pay period. Then you're going to view all of the hours and select your payroll batch. And with a click of a button, you'll upload those hours back into the timesheet entry screen, which I have saved on my favorites list. Those hours will be automatically brought over into the applicable timesheet entry batch. You've got a custom notes section that is going to populate based upon what we've configured in the system. So it can remind us to pay somebody like a bonus or a commission. And then this is just like an Excel spreadsheet. So you can literally click in the field and adjust the amount if you need to. Hopefully you won't need to because the hours will be coming over automatically. You can also upload a document from QuickBooks or whatever system you have that you need to upload the information into this screen. And you also have custom pay codes that you can create. And if we select an employee's name here, we can also add different pay codes. So for instance, mileage or housing allowance, you can easily add that and put your hours into it and add another entry. And if you need to make an adjustment on an employee, say they maybe transferred into a different department, you can easily click on their profile icon and that will just open up their screen so you can make that adjustment without having to navigate away from the timesheet. And once you are good to go, we just click the finalize button and our payroll team will do the heavy lifting for you. And once everything is ready, we will want the client to approve the payroll. And so hours can be auto loaded just so that you really don't have to do anything except review and approve. And approving is literally just clicking submit and that's it. Otherwise, we can hit deny and send back with any kind of comments if we need to make some adjustments. We'll also have access to like any kind of custom payroll reports that the client needs, and also individual employee voucher data. So you can see how the pay is being allocated, your tax breakout, your standard employee voucher data. I'm going to show two different payroll reports here. We've got our gross to net report. Again, you can filter down on any report, but I'm just going to hit run because I want to see everybody in my system. And this is what the gross to net looks like. If I want to look for a particular word, I could just type that in, hit enter, and it's going to highlight on my screen so I can quickly find that. And you can export into a PDF or Excel. I'll also show you the payroll register report. So here we have our by employee. We have our earnings, deductions, disbursements broken out. You can navigate to the different pages with the arrows and go to the last page quickly and see your totals. So that is the payroll portion of the employee life cycle. I'm going to now show you how to do some basic, easy changes within the system. So say somebody was getting promoted. First, their position is going to be needing to be updated. So I'm just going to start typing in my smart search bar position, and I'll select position change in my application suggestion. We're going to select the employee in question. We'll see their current data, and then you just fill out their new data with the reason code and effective date and hit save. Then we can also adjust their pay rate. So I'm just going to type in pay rate in my smart search. Again, select the employee in question. We'll see their current pay rate information as well as fields for their new pay rate. You'll just fill that in, select your effective date and reason, and hit save. You'll have a new line added then to your pay rate history box at the bottom. And then we'll move on to performance management quickly. I'll show you what that looks like. I've got that saved in my favorites. This is where you would add a job description, and then you can do compensation analysis as well as performance reviews and performance improvement notices. So first I'm going to create a job description because the whole software is based upon this for a legal purpose so that you don't get sued. It's all based on what the employee has been given for their job title. So I'm just going to start typing in a keyword that I'm looking for, and then I'm going to have a search result. It's kind of like a Google search engine, but the database is pulling over 17,000 job descriptions from the Department of Labor. So I'm just going to select the one that is closest to what I'm looking for. And then you can copy and paste if you already have something in a Word document, the title and the job summary. Then we'll have different tasks that we can define. You can also reorder these because you're going to be rating the employee on these tasks. You can also just delete them or tweak the description if you need to. And you can add up to 12 different tasks. We're going to hit continue. We'll then be able to tweak the work styles or competencies in regards to the description of each competency. And then once you've done that, you have a last minute review if you need to make any changes, and we'll hit approve and assign that to an employee in our system so that we can then create a review on them. You can also set dates within the system if you want to have a reminder via email. And I'll just show you how quick and easy it is to do a new review. So we'll select the employee that we want to do a review on. Click start review. Again, we're going to walk through a little workflow here. We're just going to rate them on these tasks that are within the job description, all to keep you legal compliant. You can also create and view goals. We'll hit continue. I'm just going to do a comment as to why I rated them the way that I did on those tasks. Then we can rate the employee on how they are working with their work styles and competencies. And this way we're not comparing them to another person by rating them with a number system. We are just looking at the individual. Next, it's going to kind of give the manager a script, if you will, a preview of that script so that they can understand this is what they're going to say. Hey, this is where you're meeting expectations. This is where you're needing improvement in these particular tasks. So this is a really nice way to get that manager comfortable with giving a review and knowing what to say. Then we'll just type in another comment as to how the employee works. We'll have more detailed bullet points and stats, a bar chart based upon our ratings. You can do a summary comment. I'm going to hit approve. And then we will have an employee version as well as a manager version. And if I hit print, this is going to give me a nice PDF layout with all of our pertinent legal stats here within our review. And then you'll see your tasks related to the job description, what they were rated on. The employee will then be able to comment or initial if they don't want to comment. And then you'll also have a witness signature line, again, to keep you from a legal nightmare. And then you can also do a performance notice, which is like a PIP, where you're just choosing the tasks based upon their job description, you know, what they need to work on or their work styles. And then you choose the tasks related to those work styles. Hit continue. It'll coach you in saying, like, you know, be sure to include dates on when the incident occurred, what's the action needed to be taken, and then we'll hit approve. It kind of just does a snapshot of that. We'll print the notice, and then you can save that in the employee's electronic file. Two more areas that I like to show. One is the analyze compensation. So this is a nice quick way to really analyze if someone's compensation is fair. And so if somebody says, hey, I would really like a raise, you can click the start button next to their name and their job, And it's going to pull in their base wage and compare it to the main local median wage as well as the national industry trending wage. It's going to then compare it to the other worksite locations that you have. And it's going to tell you that all the data is coming from ONET. You can print this out and give it to whoever needs it. Just a nice little feature, bells and whistles of the system that I always like to show. There is also another area, the reports area. You've got your standard reports that you can export, review, and goal information. But this pay for performance is basically this is the only software that you can get this in within the PEO industry. So pay for performance is going to allow you to easily identify your top performers in your company. So we're going to just focus on one particular job. You can also focus on a group of people, like a department. But here it's showing you a scatter chart. And these bubbles represent people. And so these people all have the same job, but you can tell that this guy makes a lot of money, but his review score is very low. This person is one of the lower paid employees in this job, but their review score is super high. So we're going to think about giving her a promotion, maybe give him a performance improvement notice. You can also print the chart and also export this detailed data from you can do an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF. And last but not least in our employee life cycle is the termination process. So I'm just going to start typing in the word term in my smart search bar, select the employee termination, select the employee in question. We'll also see lots of other fields that we need to select. So I'm going to just select relocation. We'll do our termination date. You can say if they're eligible for rehire. You can also turn off their ACH. So if they maybe owe you a piece of company property, and you want them to return it, you can say, come pick up a paper check and turn off their direct deposit. You also have an area where you can explain the termination further, and then you'll see the available hours for PTO to be paid out if applicable. And then if we are processing your benefits, we will also have a COBRA workflow. Once you hit save, then notifications and emails will be sent out to the proper people in our channel. So essentially that is it. I know I kind of maybe talked a little bit quickly, but Bob, were there any other questions that you wanted me to answer?
The last question that is probably a good question to end on is based on your expertise and your knowledge of our system and some of the others out there, how would you say our system with all of the bells and whistles compares up against to some of the competitors, either competitors you've been with in the past or competitors that you've come to learn what they do or don't do? Kind of what's your opinion of that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just to be honest with you, I am not very familiar. I haven't seen other competitor softwares, but I have talked to a lot of prospects on my demos. I've done several demos over the last few years. And a lot of the things that, especially today, I talked with a prospect and they said it takes them 30 to 40 minutes to run a report. And I was baffled. So our reports, you can tell, they load within seconds. So I would say speed and time minus logging into my portal, which I think it's my internet connection. With that exception, everything else is very fast in terms of processing. Plus our team members, I feel like it's just a family in terms of service and just great people to work with. Very quick in terms of response. In terms of the software though, everything is fully integrated and you don't have to jump and bounce to different softwares in terms of logging in here and logging in there. Everything is fully integrated. So you just have one username and one password for the entire system. So it's a really great feature to have because it's all just so cohesive and you're not bouncing around everywhere.
Awesome. Great. Well, I don't see any other questions posed out there. We will have this. First off, thank you so much to Jama. I appreciate it. Jama is available for additional questions. Just shoot me an email or a text. Thank you all for being partners to us and sending your clients to us. That is probably the greatest compliment you can give us by sending us your referral partnerships. So, once again, this was our third webinar in the series. It will be posted on our Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube channel. So, thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we look forward to working with you.